As we get closer to the most important date in the world of student loans right now, more and more people are getting anxious about what their student loans would be like. The two things that are very important to student loan borrowers right now are an extension to the payment pause and the widely called for mass student loan cancellation. But as we move forward and I look deeper into this thing, the more I am convinced that one of those two things just isn't possible anymore. I think the reasons why student loan cancellation isn't going to happen is starting to outweigh the reasons why it will happen. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 reasons why I think student loan cancellation isn't going to happen during this time. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Dred and I post personal finance and dividend investing videos, and currently I am documenting my journey in paying off my student loans. So if you're interested in seeing how everything unfolds or you just want to show your support, then please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and also share this video. Now with that out of the way, let's get back to the main thing. So we've all been hoping for some sort of news regarding student loan cancellation, but so far the only cancellation that we've heard of are those of the targeted kind. Despite having no news for mass student loan cancellation, Biden's administration has canceled a total amount of $3 billion in student loans, ranging from borrowers with disabilities to those borrowers who have been defrauded by their former colleges. If they were able to cancel student loans for those borrowers, why can't they cancel student loans for everybody? So here are the reasons why we still haven't seen mass cancellation yet. Number one is that it wasn't included in Biden's spending and budget plans. At the end of the first quarter of this year, Biden's American Jobs and Families Plan came as a mixed bag of reactions for a lot of us. People supported it, people opposed it, but one group in particular that weren't happy about it were student loan borrowers. While both plans had mentioned upgrades in school infrastructures and changes in education such as free college, one thing that a lot of student loan borrowers cared about most was missing: student loan cancellation. I think the main reason why this wasn't included in both of those plans was because Biden knew the unlikeliness of student loan debt relief being passed on both the House and the Senate, where Democrats only hold a small majority. Now, the second reason why student loan cancellation isn't going to happen right now is because Biden's legal authority to cancel student loans is unclear and very ambiguous. According to an article by Zach Friedman on Forbes, despite what you have heard on social media or read online, it has not been established that Biden has legal authority to enact student loan cancellation unilaterally without further authorization from Congress. However, most legal scholars don't believe that a president can cancel unlimited student loan debt for every student loan borrower. Yes, Biden has enacted student loan cancellation, which he has authority to do through an executive order. However, he has not enacted wide-scale student loan cancellation because he has said he doesn't believe he has the legal authority to do so. While there is a massive call for Biden to simply sign the order and cancel student loans, there are those who believe that he just can't do this easily. Many progressives cite the Higher Education Act, which was signed originally in 1965 and has been updated since as a key provision for this cancellation. According to Pointer.org, the Higher Education Act grants a presidential administration via the Education Secretary authority to enforce, pay, compromise, waive, or release government-held federal student loans. Through this law, Trump and Biden were given authority to pass the student loan payment pause throughout the pandemic using executive action. Now, back when Betsy DeVos was still the Education Secretary, a memo came from the Education Department's Office of the General Counsel, which stated, "We believe the Secretary of Education does not have the statutory authority to cancel, compromise, discharge, or forgive on a blanket or mass basis principal balances of student loans, and or to materially modify the repayment amounts or terms thereof. Congress is responsible for federal spending, and since student loan cancellation is a form of federal spending, it falls under the Congress's purview and not the President's." In the same memo, if Congress had wanted to give full authority to the Education Secretary, they would have done so already and would have written the law as such. Besides that, Congress has already given authority to the Education Department to cancel student loans, but only in limited circumstances. The third reason why is that most of Congress do not support cancellation. Aside from the ambiguity of Biden's authority to cancel student loans, most of Congress simply do not support the idea of canceling student loans. It is important to note though that the idea for student loan cancellation didn't even start with Biden. Senator Bernie Sanders was an early champion for student loan cancellation along with fellow progressives. But despite the constant push for Biden to cancel student loans, Congress just does not have enough votes to cancel it. Republicans don't support it, and even a majority of fellow Democrats don't. But what's crazy though is that in the same memo I mentioned earlier, it stated that although Congress could enact legislation authorizing the department to provide blanket or mass cancellation, compromise, discharge, or forgiveness of student loan principal balances, and or to materially modify repayment amounts or terms, it has not done so. So what I understand from this is that Congress actually has the power to cancel student loans, not the president. And they can do this because they have the authority to approve the spending for canceling student loans. Now, I'm not a lawyer or a student loans expert, and there may be some legislations or policies that I wasn't able to cover or even consider for this one. So please do your own research about this matter so that you can arrive at your own conclusion. And the fourth reason why student loan cancellation still hasn't happened is because you still haven't subscribed to the channel and liked this video. But seriously though, the fourth reason why it still hasn't happened is because we don't even know who's going to receive cancellation. Whether it's $10,000 or $50,000, the cost to cancel student loans will be big. If they don't know who's going to receive what, the costs can't be calculated and a decision can't be made. Are they canceling federal student loans or private student loans, or maybe even both? If both, how's it weighed on both student loans? Who gets cancellation now? Who gets cancellation later? What about those who have already paid off their student loans? Are they gonna get some sort of tax credit or some sort of benefits or something? The uncertainty of this makes it an obstacle to actually support wide-scale student loan cancellation. For example, if you really think about it, 44 million borrowers times $10,000 is equal to $440 billion. That is a big chunk of money that Congress is going to allocate just for one group of people. While many are saying that there are economic benefits to canceling student loans, how will we know of its effects? Who will benefit the most from this and who will suffer the most? We might think of this as free money, but nothing really is free. In some form or another, this free money must be taken from somewhere else. Unfortunately, no one is going to win if they choose to select one over the other. Student loan is a blanket term used by everybody. Regardless if you have private or federal student loans, people regard to themselves as having student loans. And when you talk about canceling student loans, people are going to expect for their entire student loans to be considered for cancellation. So having learned all those reasons, you can point out the two biggest reasons why student loan cancellation still has happened, and that is money and politics. Decisions are not being made because there are those who are saying that it costs too much. The blame game is alive and well in the government. Biden is putting the responsibility on Congress because he believes that they actually have the power to do so, while Congress, or at least some of them, are blaming Biden for not canceling student loans. Now, I do think that long-term, canceling student loan debt will have positive effects. It can stimulate the economy by putting back money into consumers' pockets and encourage borrowers to spend saved money into the economy. Plus, it saves a generation from financial ruin and mental stress. Well, those are some lofty ideals, and we will never know what the effects of canceling student loans will be until we tried it. We have to be realistic. Having your student loans canceled is great, but do not count on it. A lot of us student loan borrowers got into this situation because we weren't responsible enough to look at our own finances. We easily got sucked into this idea that if we were to go to a good school, we would get a job right after graduation and we would be making enough money to pay those loans. Getting educated is great, but unfortunately the system that we are in is broken and imperfect. There weren't enough measures to keep students from borrowing more money, or policies to make schools or lenders more responsible for their consumers, or assistance to students who are new to borrowing money and have no idea about personal finances. And this is one of the main reasons why I keep creating content about personal finance and investing, because I know that it is a necessary life skill. But unfortunately, this is not taught at our schools at an earlier stage and only taught at a later stage of life, where it could be a little too late already. We don't know when and if student loan cancellation is going to happen during this time. But one thing is certain, we need to focus on fixing our finances and change the way we look at money so that we may be able to live a more fruitful and prosperous life. And that's it for the entire video, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me till the very end. And if you found this helpful and informative, please do me a favor by liking this video and then sharing this video to a friend of yours as well. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because we can help this channel grow and push this content out to more people so that they can get informed. And also, I'm on Instagram at dailydread. Please add me there so that we can chat, exchange some ideas, and also collaborate. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.